Hello everybody, how are you doing? This is Red Pill Phil. I hope you're doing very well in life. First of all, I've got to thank one person for this next video for sending this link to me. That person is Tony Bugle, aka the Baroness. This is a list of police, prison and court personnel charged or convicted of an offence from 2009 to 2018.
Police and thieves in the street, fighting the nation with guns and ammunition. Police and thieves in the street, scaring the nation with guns and ammunition.
So I thought I'd do a video just to put my thoughts on it and also show people if they've not seen it, then look at this. It's literally a look at this moment. Now, the police, we hold them to the highest regard when it comes to observational levels, when it comes to being trustworthy. They are the top of the bunch, okay? When it comes to being in court, a testimony from a police officer is worth 100 of the average person. Before they join the police force, they have to obey by an oath. I've got this oath here in front of me and I've put it up on the screen. Okay, now this is the English. Do solemnly and sincerely declare and affirm that I will well and truly serve the Queen in the office of constable with fairness, integrity, diligence and impartiality, upholding fundamental human rights and according to equal respect to all people, and that I will, to the best of my power, cause the peace to be kept and preserved and prevent all offences against people and property, and that while I continue to hold the said office, I will, to the best of my skill and knowledge, discharge all the duties thereof faithfully according to the law. Now, I had to start with that because really that kind of ends up as a contradiction when I'm going to carry on with this video. Now, what I will say before I start this, with the amount of numbers in the police force, okay, I'm sure these figures may be small, but it tells its own story as well. Bearing in mind that with the amount of offences and the amount of punishments, prison sentences and sackings and other disciplinary measures, if this was to happen in any other profession with this amount of numbers, you would have an inquiry, you would have to look into it, particularly with the gravity of the crimes committed.
Police and thieves in the street, fighting the nation with guns and ammunition.
Now, what seems very ironic with this is that I've just read you that oath out. The crimes that are in here, it's so ironic that these people who have committed these crimes started their police career by reading this oath. We as small people, proletariat, just the average Joe on the street, we have to adhere to the law. We have to respect a policeman in uniform. I know at some point, whether it's still the case, you could actually get arrested for knocking a policeman's hat off. I think that is probably still the case. You could actually get sent to prison for harming a police dog. So they hold themselves to the highest esteem. And yet, so, like I say, this is a list. I'm not going to read them all. But what I've done within this list, I've not included any names of police. There's all different ranks, which is probably quite important for this video, but I did not want to be seen to be outing people if they've already been punished. Okay? This video is not for that. This video is just to make a point on how the police, maybe through duty and law, have to print these figures, but they choose to keep it as quiet as they possibly can, whilst on the other side, constantly telling people Brexit is all about racism, the rise of the far right, the rise of far right activity, the rise of terrorist action within the far right, whoever subscribes to the far right, that is. So it just seems a contradiction there. So I just had to make that point. So anyway, going down to some of these offences. I mean, we're talking Thames Valley Police, Mersey Police, Greater Manchester Police, all, you name it. Every police force is in there, okay? With what I'm looking at, I've not got time to read them all, so I'm just going to go through the first two. You've got police in Thames Valley dealing and taking cocaine, selling seized drugs, drink driving. One in Greater Manchester Police, murder of a girlfriend. You've got sexual assault on a man. That was a Metropolitan Police. I could actually go back and look at the original PDF, but that would be interesting to see whether that was a man or a woman that perpetrated that crime. Okay? You've got death by dangerous driving, cocaine, addicts who sold drugs. These are all police, and they've all been duly punished. Maybe not as much as we'd like. Maybe so, who knows? A lawyer could probably tell you that, but it's the contradiction again. These guys are supposed to be upholding the law. Inciting a child to have sex. Inciting a child to have sex. That was Devon and Cornwall. Benefit cheat. Now, why anyone from the Thames Valley Police, who surely must be earning an adequate wage, surely must be in line for a nice pension, but then has to cheat the benefit system? But then, because of the duty and the obligation to his job, will be the first out in line to arrest you if you was to cheat with your benefit. One from Northumbria Police worked as a prostitute. You can't make this up. Now, that doesn't appear to me that that was undercover, because they were jailed for 15 months for it. One is inciting a 15-year-old girl to engage in sexual activity, sex with a vulnerable woman, unlawful arrest, assault, death by dangerous driving. One from South Yorkshire seemed to get off on filming naked women in changing rooms. Now, whether that was the police changing rooms or other changing rooms, I've no idea. Attempting to engage in sex with a minor. So that's paedophilic behaviour. Possession with intent to supply, that's Merseyside. Sexual assault, Northumbria. Forced teenage boys to strip in Hampshire. Police, one policeman did. So it's just very ironic. You've got 2 rapes, 3 indecent assaults. Northumbria Police. Misconduct in public office. Assault and perjury. Sold police uniforms, robbery, drug dealing. That's someone from the Surrey Police. Sold the A to Z of drug dealers and informants to a drug dealer. That was Greater Manchester Police. He sold an A to Z book of drug dealers and informants to a drug dealer. Now, no idea how much he sold that for, but that's all their intelligence, basically. So who says there's no corruption in the police? Who says that within most police forces, there is not a policeman that's for sale? So if you've got one policeman that's for sale, that makes the incorruptible corrupt. It's only a matter of degree of how corrupt, as opposed to the rank of the corrupt policeman. But still, you've got corruption when you're looking at some of these crimes that are being committed. Smashed OAP's cars and windows for not wearing a seatbelt. That was South Wales. That's respect for you, for the older generation, isn't it? Charged with manslaughter, a policeman from the Met. One who sold seized guns to the public, Durham police. So as quickly as they're seizing guns, they're putting them back on the street. And we've known they've done that with drugs and guns for years. No one can quite prove it because there never seems to be enough evidence. And you've also got a media that will do the best to keep these stories quiet as well. So this only adds to what we kind of know, really. And like I say, let me say this fair, this does not mean that each individual police force that is on this list is corrupt from the top down. Who knows? Who knows at what point on the ladder the particular people that have been charged hold, okay? So if they hold a particular rank, then it could be fair to say that the corruption could be from them downwards, or depending on their networking ability, it could be from them upwards, or it could be just them. We don't know. This list does not allude to that, so I can't then go out and say all these police forces. What I can do is say that this builds a picture of what we have as corruption within police forces all around the country and the UK. You've got South Wales police blackmailing women into having sex. You know, we've got Essex police sex chats with 13-year-old girl. South Wales police, there was a member admitted 12 counts of illegally accessing data. Metropolitan Police, a member was charged with rape. Gwent Police, possession and indecent images of children. This just goes on. There's all manner of crimes. Literally, I could not do the video for that long to run through everyone. So as I'm talking now, I'm just literally going to put each page up because there's 28 in total. This come to me simply titled Police List V34, and it's 28 pages of a PDF file. So this is open source material for everyone to see and should see. We should know about this. This should be out in papers. This should be out in the news. But the news will do its best to keep this away from you, trying to build a picture that the police are always in control when we know they're not. When we know that when you go onto a march, they get given a briefing that you as an individual are part of something nefarious, and you as an individual are nefarious. That's how you're treated, and that's how we're spoke about, whether it be by the police or by the press. So it's a case of evening the balance. As my mother used to say, a simple case of the pot calling the kettle black. Now, I'm not going to cast aspersions on any of these convicted policemen. I'm not going to call them a Nazi. I'm not going to call them any other name other than a member of the police that is representing the Queen and the people, and they've turned out to be no better than a common thief. That is it.
A policeman, a human being, his duty under common law of this land is to serve and protect every individual in this land. You've heard Albert say this today. That is his duty. That is what he does his job for, to serve and protect and never, ever delay right or justice to any individual in this land. That's their job. They must uphold the common law. But they have a fiction attached to them called a police officer. Now, if you look at the word officer, it comes from the corporate world. What's a CEO? Chief Executive Officer. It's all officers. They're unbelievable. This man on my right is who enforces statutes on you. This man protects you. But the trouble is, the boys in blue, who I've got all the admiration in the world for, because I've got a lot of friends in the police force, don't know the difference. They don't know the difference anymore. And some of them didn't know the difference in the first place, because they're being told wrong. They're not being told about this bit, they're only being told about this bit.
What do you do when you have a police force that has such a high percentage of corruptible people. I'm hoping that it builds a picture as to what currently we are all going through, how disparaging it is, how contradictory it is, and how just downright wrong it is. This is a list of police, prison and court personnel charged or convicted of an offence from 2009 to 2018. So this is only 9 years. 9 years. Now, the question is, how long has this been going on? This is still within this millennium. I wonder how much it would be from the year 2000 to the year 2019. If we was to be allowed lists of the financial sector and banking personnel, what percentage would that be? Do we need more transparency? And transparency that's not only put out begrudgingly and on the quietest press day that you could possibly do it, but being transparent where you are quite happy to show the world everything, good or bad. Because if you show the good or bad, it will show that you are trying to at least combat the problem. Red Pill Phil, like and subscribe. I love you all, even you pesky, corrupt police.